Welcome into the St. Louis Cardinals Daily podcast. My name is Andrew Toyser, and today we get to talk more about your birds and the deals they are making. We just signed left-handed relief pitcher Jared Shuster to the Big League Ball Club. The Cardinals are desperate for left-handed pitching, and that is exactly what Jared Shuster can offer. We can talk more about how well he offers that pitching, but he is of that category at least. Per John Morosi, a left-handed pitcher Jared Shuster has agreed to a minor league contract with the Cardinals that includes an invitation to MLB spring training. Morosi wrote, with the Cardinals listening to trade offers for multiple veterans, Shuster has a good chance to make the opening day roster. We can debate on if he will actually make the opening day roster, but the Cardinals were desperate for lefties, and Chaim Bloom has already said that additions to the bullpen were bound to happen. This makes sense. Bloom is not the kind of guy who's in the past, and he said this openly, he's not a guy who wants to rush guys to the big leagues and put him in the bullpen just so that they can fill innings in that sort of way. He's very much about the development, which is something that I can get behind. Now, the Cardinals rotation, the bullpen definitely needs some help. We've added to the rotation already, adding some depth in with guys like Richard Fitz and Hunter Dobbins and Dustin May, but the bullpen has not seen much care, and this is a deal that could potentially help with that. Jared Shuster is a 27-year-old pitcher who was a former first-round pick by the Atlanta Braves. If I just told you that, that'd get you a little bit excited about the deal, I'd bet. He's recently made a transition from being a starter to a relief pitcher. Go break down his career for you a little bit. He first made the big leagues debut in 2023 after a few years of mulling around in the minor leagues. He started 11 games for the Braves in 2023 to the tune of a 5.81 ERA. They saw him go up and down throughout the season, up and down from the majors and minors. And then in 2024, he was up and down a whole bunch again, mostly in the bullpen. He pitched 39 games to the tune of a 4.3 ERA. We're getting places a little bit. That's a little bit of improvement, moving him to the pen. But in 2025, he was traded to the Chicago White Sox, where he would play in 12 games of pitching relief to the tune of an 8.04 ERA. I tell you what, that's not what you want to see. Now, the majority of those outings actually weren't all that bad. The vast majority of them, he actually only gave up one run or less, which one run in as relief isn't amazing, but it isn't 8 ERA bad. So it's a little bit inflated. In fact, his FIP was 2.94. Now, FIP stands for fielder independent pitching, which basically tries to get rid of the fielders out of the equation to compensate for terrible fielding, which, frankly, the White Sox, being mostly a minor league team, were last year. Now, Fangraphs also has a statistic called xFIP, which accounts for fly balls not being proportionally home runs, which dragged up his xFIP up to 4.81. Because according to the Cardinal Nation, a great place to get some player breakdowns, especially on prospects and guys who've had a lot of career innings in the minors. Go ahead and read it. Great article by Bill Walton. They say he's a pitch-to-contact kind of guy. And that's a lot what the Cardinals can probably hope for out of signing a dude pretty cheaply to a minor league contract like that. So that's not too shocking. And Fangraphs projects him to have a 4.59 ERA next year. So this isn't a guy who's, former first round pick, gets you maybe a little bit excited. His stuff just never escalated from where he was coming out into the draft. So things haven't quite panned out for him. He showed the potential. And I'd say the statistics say that he probably won't be materialize into that much for the Cardinals. So we appreciate maybe having some lefty innings eaten up, maybe a guy who can draw some ground balls, pitch some contact, eat some innings in the bullpen, but we're not even sure this guy is making the big league roster. So Cardinals fans, we're still going to have to hope for more moves to be made later on. Now, the Cardinals bullpen as it stands is desperate for lefties. It's something we should point out. As it currently stands, the only left-handed pitchers on the 40-man roster for the Cardinals are Jojo Romero, who most Cardinals fans and media believe will be traded, so we can almost erase him, leaving the only guy expected to be on the Cardinals 40-man roster next year and be in the bullpen is Nick Raquette, who pitched in 2 games last year towards the end of the season, and he's a 30-year-old pitcher who we shouldn't be that excited about. either. Maybe he has more to show. That's not the point of this. The point is that we need lefty pitching. Hopefully Jared Shuster can be that for the Cardinals, but don't expect this to be the last thing they do. In fact, Time Bloom has already said much to this point that the Cardinals plan on adding more, quote, experience to the bullpen. Because outside of JoJo Romero, lefties even aside, the relief pitcher with the most innings pitched out of all of the guys is 27-year-old Ryan Fernandez, who has 97 innings pitched. That's really just 2 seasons pitched in the bullpen. The Cardinals need more guys with some season, with some experience to them that we've come to know. There's only one guy in the bullpen above the age of 30. The Cardinals need some age in the bullpen, some experience. Hopefully with that comes we can get some guys who can actually contribute. I know we're just saying experience. Hopefully they'll actually contribute and be positives in some way. And the Cardinals have great experience in this. Some may think, well, why on earth would anyone want to come pitch in St. Louis? Hey, we've got great restaurants. I think we're a fine city, but we're going to be terrible next year. Well, we offer you availability. You can pitch as much as you possibly could want. We have plenty of openings in our bullpen, as well as we've seen guys like Phil Matone and Andrew Kittredge come to the Cardinals, have incredible seasons, and then turn around and sign excellent deals for way more money in the future. So I think that's an easy selling point that the Cardinals have there to offer other pitchers to come here and actually contribute. So I expect a 1 or 2 year deal to be signed to at least one guy, if not more, so that the Cardinals can continue to fill out this bullpen. We'd hate to see our young rotation that we're building, that we've developed here, go on and pitch some successful innings just to be demoralized and lose them in the 7th, 8th, 9th if they're able to have a quality start. So the Cardinals are definitely trying to do something to help bolster up the back of the pen. Naturally, we can expect some of these pitchers we've mentioned before. Gordon Graceffo is already a starter who's now serving in relief. Tink Hintz should be on his way up, among other guys who expect to make their debuts this year. We'll expect them to fill out the pen in some way, shape, or form. Maybe Bloom sees these guys as, it's the end of the line. They're not going to be starters in the big leagues, and we'll shift them over. But the Cardinals need to add more to their bullpen, specifically left-handed pitching. You can see some good articles. Redbird Rants recently put out a good one, Viva Alberto's, about the potential options for left-handed pitching to be added. Now, the last thing the Cardinals are kind of up to right now is more disasters in the broadcast deals. We already knew last year we've had tons of issues with the fact that, for instance, I'm a YouTube TV subscriber. I don't even get the Cardinals games right now because they made a deal with Mainstream Sports Group, who made FanDuel Sports Network. That's supposed to be broadcasting games. That's not even going well right now. But the owners of FanDuel Sports Network is Mainstream Sports Group, and they have missed a payment to the St. Louis Cardinals and are expecting to potentially dissolve the company if they cannot figure something out. Specifically, their only really hope of keeping around FanDuel Sports Network, at least their company running that as it is, it very well may change names again, previously being Bally, of course. But the group that was formerly the Diamond Sports Group and is now Mainstream Sports Group is trying to sell to DAZN, D-A-Z-N, but pronounced DAZN. That's per the Belleville News Democrat and Jeff Jones on NKSDK that this is going down. So there's a lot of up in the air regarding this. Here's what Jeff Jones writes to add some clarification. The senior Cardinals official who confirmed the missed payments reiterated that fans will be able to watch every game next season, that's good news, via either a television subscription or a direct-to-consumer streaming service. Should the acquisition by DAZN collapse and result in FanDuel Sports Midwest being shuttered, the Cardinals intend to utilize the same MLB media distribution model used by teams that exited their own right deals. So here's what this means for the Cardinals. We will have baseball streamed to us next year. That might have to be through an MLB.com subscription that we get TV that way, or the MLB will be broadcasting it to our local networks, hopefully through all the providers that we all have. This is something that MLB wants, something similar to an NFL model, where they want the MLB to be the distributor of all of these deals, all under the MLB, instead of each individual team having a million different broadcast networks. There's some teams that just won't go for that, but they're trying to get more and more teams to go to that model in the future. So hopefully the Cardinals can get that done, because this unfortunately does have an impact on payroll. As the Cardinals don't receive these payments, that's money that they spend on the players. And the biggest point of our revenue comes from these TV deals. So if we don't get that taken care of through mainstream sports soon, it could impact payroll in 2026 and going forward. So hopefully that gets taken care of. We'll keep you updated on that as you guys watch here on St. Louis Cardinals Daily Podcast. Again, I'm Andrew Teuscher. We'll keep covering your Redbirds every single day.